go ahead and I will share my screen. Hang. All right. First pick, Chicago Bears. They're clearly going Marvin Harrison Jr. They're going to go ahead and save. They're going to keep Justin Fields, and they're never going to touch Caleb Williams, right?
You guys have to understand that Justin Fields is just he's so misunderstood in the NFL quarterback circles. And I watch ball, bro. Do you see how thick my glasses are? And I look like a sexy tight end. So I just need everybody to help me out so I can get signed into this damn thing that I did my draft on earlier. And I have to tell you, I took about a solid 13 minutes to throw this all together. So I'm very excited.
So first overall, we're going Caleb Williams.
Yeah, we can definitely go Caleb Williams at number 2. And if you'd like, you can even slide in Drake May at number 2. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Drake May 2 to the Washington Commanders, right? I think those pretty common. 1, 2. I think the more popular one starting to come up right now is the Jaden Daniels thing is starting to pop up. I think who was it? Old head Mel Kiper just put Washington taking Jaden Daniels at 2, and I've seen it a couple other times as well. So I've also seen Jaden Daniels fall to like 5 to the Giants and Daniel Jeremiah's recent mock draft. So
now are you gonna save this?
This mock draft?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
perfect. Because we got to document this. Okay. New England Patriots number 3. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
I
don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Perfect. Number 4, Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Number 5.
Hey.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You got to go to the. You got to go to the corners. Okay.
Okay, we're going to
the corners.
Corners.
Yeah. Grab Mr. Alabama there for me. Cooper DeJean, why is he ranked so high right there? What is going on?
So Terrion Arnold for
PFF is broken. I'm a little pissed off that you foreshadowed this, but I am going to go at number 6 with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you saw what the GM of the Giants was saying, and he did not seem very happy talking about Daniel Jones today at all. Not even a little bit. Or yesterday, I believe. Past 2 days, he just was not very happy talking about Daniel Jones.
I didn't see Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft though, so I'm gonna pop that up here real quick just to see if I can. Oh, of course, it's in video format. That's not gonna help me. Let's see if I can pop up here, and if not, I just want to make sure that I'm not biting his style too much. Oh no. Okay, good. He took Joe Alt for the Chargers, so I'm not exactly.
I think he did take Terrion Arnold in a mock draft in the past.
Okay, so Joe Alt for the Tennessee Titans. They get the best tackle. Do you think there's a
conversation here? Do you think there's a conversation here for wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans?
I think there's a conversation there for anything. I think it's a good place for them to drop back. If you want to go tackle here, or if you want to go wide receiver here, just drop back into 2025, and you can still get a great tackle or a great wide receiver, in my opinion. Like, I don't hate it at all to discuss not making the pick here. I also don't hate it at all just going chalk and taking the best tackle in the draft. It's just, what's their quarterback situation next year? Who's the starting quarterback?
I mean,
is Levis just... They're just going to run with him, or they're going to do an open in camp.
Yeah, I mean, you guess you can get Will Levis and what's his name? Drafted a couple years ago from the Titans.
He's definitely a running back, but that's fine.
Atlanta Falcons.
Edge from Alabama. Dallas, nice name.
Yeah, it's all right, I guess.
Chicago is going to go with Rome.
Okay. my personal wide receiver 2.
The New York Jets are definitely going to go tackle.
Okay, so you
Bring
have
that
2
up for me.
tackles.
And we got, let's go with Penn State right there.
Olu-Fashanu. Yeah.
Olu-Fashanu.
Yeah, my personal OT1. I'm not gonna knock him too much on the run blocking. I think it's overblown and overrated. I think Olu-Fashanu is the best pass blocker in the draft right now. Joe Alt's a safe pick. I think Olu-Fashanu has a higher ceiling.
All right, Minnesota Vikings, Mr. JJ McCarthy, come on down. Let's go.
So with this situation, does the Minnesota Vikings bring in a veteran for JJ to sit under, or is JJ starting him immediately?
JJ doesn't need to sit. He played. He played a lot of snaps in a run heavy Jim Harbaugh offense. I don't think he needs to sit. I think he plays right away, assuming he can.
Just for the listeners on the podcast, not for the watchers. So first pick, we have Caleb Williams. Second, we have Drake May. Third, we have Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Patriots. Fourth, to the Arizona Cardinals, we have Malik Neighbors. Fifth, to the LA Chargers, Terrion Arnold, cornerback from Alabama. Sixth pick, we have quarterback from LSU, Jaden Daniels. Seventh, to the Tennessee Titans, we have the tackle from Notre Dame, Joe Alt. Eighth pick, to the Atlanta Falcons, we have edge rusher Dallas Turner. Ninth pick, Romo Dunze, wide receiver from Washington. And 10th pick, Olu-Fashanu, tackle from Penn State. And then once we get to pick 20, we'll review again 11 to 20. So 12th pick on the clock, Denver Broncos. Where are we going?
Do you hate anything so far?
No, I don't think so. I think that there's I have the next mock draft, right? So I think one I've been mulling over and been playing around in my mind with is wide receiver at the Atlanta Falcons position right here. Instead, if you look at who's on contract, it's like Drake London, and that's it. There's like nobody on contract for wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. So
I wouldn't be surprised if the Atlanta Falcons took JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, that's another one I've heard too. Who did I just saw a mock with the Atlanta Falcons taking JJ not that long ago too. So I think nothing's really out of the ordinary or crazy. Obviously, I'm not the biggest JJ McCarthy fan, but the reality of the situation is, I guess you're betting on tools, even though tools aren't that great. I mean, I know the NFL values winners a lot, I guess, and JJ McCarthy is a winner. So that's the only one I'm like, I guess. I mean, it's a reality situation. He's going to go high in my mock draft too, but it is what it is, But Olu-Fashanu falling to the Jets at 10 is great because Talisi Fuaga is the other one that goes to the Jets a lot too.
Yeah, and I honestly hate this pick. I don't know what the Broncos are going to do here. It feels like this is like a super wild card pick. I think that they just need so much. I don't think they go corner, even though they need one because they already have a first round corner. They obviously need quarterback, but I don't think that they should reach for a quarterback here because I just don't think there's anyone. If JJ fell right here, I think that's an option.
I think so. Yeah.
I really like either Brian Murphy or Jared Verse here. I think edge is more important for them than inside defensive line, so I'm just going to go ahead and slot Jared Verse. But to be honest with you, when the draft rolls around, I don't think they're picking in this spot anyway. So for the purposes of the mock, I'll slap him in there. Raiders are going to make the smart pick and go with Fuagwa.
That's not possible.
And the Saints, again, tough situation, but he's fallen too far. So we're just going to go ahead and let the New Orleans Saints take Mr. Brock Bowers.
Wow. Yeah, with how the board has fallen, actually, let's talk about the picks 11 through 20 when we get to pick 20. Go ahead. Indianapolis Colts.
They need a wide receiver. Bring up the wide receivers. It's way too high for Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
I don't love that. Who else do they have on need for them?
Wide receiver, offensive line, interior defensive line, defensive back.
Joe Latham, maybe? It's really high for Joe Latham.
Oh, JC. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Mel Kiper had JC Latham as OT1 going to the Chargers. Insanity. Yeah. I think JC Latham's in play here, definitely.
Let's assume, let's go with Brian Thomas Jr., assuming they lose Michael Pittman in free agency. They got to replace that explosive deep threat, and Michael Pittman fits that. Brian Thomas fits that. So we'll go ahead and slot him in there. Seattle Seahawks. I feel like they need an edge, but there's just not really anyone there.
Latu is still sitting there.
Let's go let's go to who's that? He's the number one center in the class.
Oh, yes, Jackson Powers Johnson.
Yes, JPJ, Jackson Power Johnson, Oregon, Seattle Seahawks. I love the fact that they have a top 16 pick, and I just mocked them to take a center because that's kind of funny to me. Jacksonville Jaguars, let's go ahead and put on... Oh, boy. Jacksonville Jaguars feel like a good fit for Nate Wiggins.
Okay. Yeah.
Fits a need. Cincinnati Bengals. Could they go wide receiver here, you think? I feel like they got to go tackle.
I mean, you
or
still got
guard.
You still got JC Latham sitting there. Yeah, guard wise, you don't really have a Christian Haynes, but he's just a little bit too early for Christian Haynes.
Let's go with Latham. Let's throw Latham in there. That's the right pick.
I think Latham's closer to a guard, anyways. In my opinion, I'm not in love with JC Latham. I think he's like a left guard, right guard. Yeah. You have the LA Rams on the clock at pick 19.
I kind of think it's suspicious when players play their entire career in college at right tackle. I just don't feel like that translates a lot.
Penei Sewell did.
Did he really? Did he play his entire... Who was left tackle for the Penei Sewell college teams? That's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Rams. Yeah. The Los Angeles Rams. Well, the Los Angeles Rams will probably trade this pick, but if they don't... The rich can't possibly get richer with Brian Murphy, could they? What if Brian Murphy fell to the Rams and they paired him up with that rookie from last year and they let Aaron Donald kind of show him a thing or two? I kind of hate that. I don't like the way this has gone. Abandoned ship. Let's put that in there. Brian Murphy. I honestly think I messed something up here. I don't think Brian Murphy falls that far. But actually, to be honest with you, I think the Seahawks would take Brian Murphy now that I'm thinking about it. But that's fine. We're now on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who... You know who is a Pittsburgh Steeler? That guy right there. Go ahead. Throw him in there. Mr. Cooper DeJean. He's got Pittsburgh Steeler written all over him.
So to review the 11 through 20, we have J.J. McCarthy, quarterback from Michigan, going to the Minnesota Vikings. Pick 12, we have edge rusher Jared Verse to Denver Broncos picking Jared Verse, edge rusher from Florida State. We have Talisi Fuaga going to the Raiders, tackle from Oregon State. Pick 14, we have Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia, going to New Orleans. Crazy. Pick 15, we have Brian Thomas, wide receiver LSU. 16, Jackson Powers Johnson, center for Oregon, going to the Seattle Seahawks. Pick 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars getting Nate Wiggins, corner from Clemson. Pick 18, we have the Cincinnati Bengals getting tackle/guard JC Latham from Alabama. And pick 19, we have Byron Murphy, the second interior defensive lineman from Texas. And pick 20, we have Cooper DeJean, corner from Iowa. My take on this is, one, Talisi Fuaga to the Raiders makes too much sense because they don't make too much sense picking. And I love Talisi Fuaga. My opinion about the tackles is Olu Fashanu 1, Joe Alt 2, and Talisi Fuaga 3. Oh my gosh, I like Talisi Fuaga. His jump off the line is quickest in the draft. He's so fast off that first kick step out. He's so quick. He's so fast. He's so agile, and he has great length. I really like Talisi Fuaga, but if he has long enough arms, sure, maybe the Raiders will pick him. But if he doesn't have those intangibles, I think Raiders are going to like him too much. Brock Bowers to the Saints, I don't think I've ever seen. They clearly need a tight end, and they need more offensive weapons for Derek Carr, because you're going to have to commit to him because you're in cap hell and you don't really have a choice. It works, and I haven't seen it, but it weirdly works. So I don't think I hate it too much, especially with how the tackle situation has fallen. I'm not super in love with JC Latham, so some people might say Latham to the Saints will work. But to me, that's another Trevor Penning situation. I never liked the Trevor Penning pick when he was coming out. I thought he was garbage. I think he was overrated. I didn't think he was going to work out at all. And I think JC Latham there to the Saints would have been a similar type of situation. Brian Thomas, pretty high for me to the Colts. Jackson Powers-Johnson to the Seahawks is pretty good. I really like JPJ. Nate Wiggins to the Jaguars. That feels like a Jaguar pick to me. Byron Murphy pairing up in LA is scary and dangerous. Cooper DeJean to the Steelers. I think what's funny is something I've told my dad, because obviously he's a Cooper DeJean lover. Cooper DeJean to me is going to play a Minkah Fitzpatrick role. He's going to play single high, but he's also going to play a lot in the box, and he's going to slot coverage a lot of tight ends and a lot of corners and a lot of slot wide receivers, because he has that ability. He's going to play a similar type of role, and going to a team that they're going to use two guys like that is a little nutty to me.
I just really like the fit with him next to Joey Porter. I don't know what definitely. It is about that, but I just, if you're going to try to turn the Saints around real quick, the Pittsburgh Steelers around real quick, I think defensive lockdown is a good way to go about it. And with the Saints, I really think Brock Bowers, as I have him drop to 15, even though I feel so strongly about him, I just feel like he's the number 2 pass catcher on the team he goes to. And I don't know what the Saints are going to do next year, if they're going to run it back with Derek Carr, or if they're going to let Jameis go for it or whatever. But having a sure-handed number 2 pass catcher and a tight end like that is just, I think, honestly, if he falls that far, I think it would be a great fit for him.
And I think he does, personally. I think Brock is not going to he's not as big as people think. He's not in terms of height, weight. He's just a little smaller for the position. I don't think people are going to – I think he's going to fall a little bit in terms of –
initially I saw him value.
Going – yeah, sure. I saw him going as high as, 5th to the Chargers.
It's crazy.
Now I think his range is, probably somewhere around 14. I see him a lot to 18. Brock Bowers to the Bengals is something is a miss there. Don't let him fall to the Dolphins, because that's something that doesn't need to happen there. But you do have Miami at the clock. Pick 21.
Pull up my offensive lineman. There should be Mr. Troy. Where's he at? Fatamata.
Troy Fontenot.
Yeah. Let's slot him in.
Yeah. Tackle that really probably a guard. Yeah, definitely.
Eagles are going to go cornerback here. I think everybody's like, oh, Kool-Aid, but I'm going to go with Quinyon Mitchell.
Quinyon Mitchell has all the making to be able to be a really good press corner. And he didn't really play a whole lot of press in Toledo, but his tape is so good. And he has the size and the length and the athleticism. When do the corners run? When do they do their testing?
I don't know. I'd have to double check. The thing about it, though, is everybody just crapped all year on the Eagles defense. And so then you just go out and get the most physical corner in the draft and just say, okay, what's up? He's here to set a new type of tone. And I just really like the idea of that. Although I don't really want to help any of these teams get better. I want them all to get worse.
Pick 23 to the Texans.
I don't really know what the Texans do here. I feel like it has to be defense. Latu is tempting. Jerzon Newton is super tempting.
Especially if you're losing Grenard too. You need help on the interior defense on top of that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna throw Jerzon Newton there for the Houston Texans. I think that's just a player that D'Amico would absolutely love.
Yeah, definitely. All right, everybody's favorite team. All right, man. What are you giving us? Running back in the first round? No way.
No, I think that you slide your boy to left tackle and you draft Tyler Guyton here to take over for Mr. Terrence Steele. Tyron is departed, and I don't really know what you're going to do at Terrence Steele at this point, but the bullshit has to stop for the Cowboys if they want to take the next step. So
for sure.
And Tyler Guyton is my love affair for the 49ers, so it's hard to send him to the Cowboys, but
Green Bay
corner, but not Kool-Aid. We're going to go with the Missouri kid. There he is.
Ennis.
Yeah,
he's dope, dude.
I don't really know what to do with Tampa Bay.
It hasn't really fell for them. I mean, if you look at the needs, especially too, I mean, it's a little bit too early for picking any guards. I guess this is where the Zach Frazier conversation could start. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
I mean, is it Graham Barton? Is it?
Yeah,
is it Graham Barton?
Graham Barton has 5 position flexibility. He's played all 5 spots on the line, man. He started started out playing center, played guard, played tackle this past year. Yeah, definitely.
Or is it Mims?
Marius Mims is the guy who's like an athletic freak, and he's only played like 600 snaps in college. But yeah.
Okay, so let's go Barton. Let's go Barton for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because Marius Mims is a true blue Arizona Cardinals pick.
Oh, okay. Nice. I actually like Mims a lot. His tape is really good. He's not obviously super technically sound, but he just seems super natural to that team. Yeah, all right.
I just looked at what I had drafted for the Detroit Lions, and you said earlier in the podcast that he's not a first-round pick. So I'm just going to go ahead and
I'm curious on who it is, but that's pretty. You had the Buffalo Bills on the clock at pick 28. Who are we going with?
I'm trying to figure out if maybe I just missed Latu. Because I went like 45 picks earlier. No, I didn't. Oh, I love that. Okay. Buffalo Bills, Kool-Aid.
Okay. Who's this Detroit Lions pick? I'm really curious about it now.
T'Vondre Sweat from Texas.
Oh, that's funny.
I love that dude. He's my draft crush right now. And I know you got to go way down there, but
it's super frustrating because I really like T'Vondre. I've been talking about T'Vondre Sweat for a couple of weeks now. To my dad and be like, yo, T'Vondre. I've been sending him videos. I'm like, yo, T'Vondre, bro, look at him, man.
366 pounds, bro.
Yep.
The Baltimore Ravens are going to go wide receiver.
Okay.
So maybe Mitchell or maybe Troy Franklin. I'm not a big McConsky guy.
Keon Coleman, Roman Wilson, AD.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mitchell.
Yeah. AD is probably one of my favorite wide receivers in the draft.
He's just big, and they already have Zay Flowers, So yeah. It's just one of those things where, all right, boys, here we go.
Everybody's least favorite team.
Go ahead and click on the offensive lineman there. Go ahead and go to Zach Frazier and go ahead and slot him in, because the 49ers honestly can take the best offensive lineman, whoever the best offensive lineman here is. Hopefully it's Tyler Guyton. And if it's not, the tackle from Arizona would be good as well. But, it wasn't really, you have a Trent Williams and you have a Colton McKivitz at right tackle. Colton McKivitz wasn't even really that bad. It was the inside of the offensive line that really got us eaten up. So
you guys are usually known for your offensive line, how good it is, and this past year was not as good as I think some people think it is. Kansas City Chiefs, last pick in the first round.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and slide over to wide receiver, and we're going to take my boy. I absolutely love this man. We're going to go ahead and take Mr. Xavier Worthy.
Oh, okay.
F.
No grade? You didn't give me a grade? All right, so going over the last part
Where the
of the
hell's my grade?
I know, you don't get a grade apparently.
You don't pay for PFF apparently.
I do pay for PFF. Ever since I full results? Nope, nothing. Interesting. So going over the picks 21 to 32, 21 to Troy Fountain out to the Miami Dolphins. I think it's a good pick again. I think he's more of a guard spot than a tackle spot. Could definitely take over Robert Hunt for sure. Quinyon Mitchell to the Eagles is interesting. You're kind of betting on, can he play press man? Has all the athleticism, has all the tools to be able to. So you're really asking yourself that question. Can he? Jazon Newton to the Texans. I think right there for the Texans, it's a luxury pick. You're taking BPA at that point, best player available. Tyler Guyton for the Cowboys. I do like Guyton. I like some guys better than him. Amarius Mims is one of the guys I like a little bit more, especially if we're talking about a guy with tools and you're going to be developing a guy. Tyler Guyton, sure. But I think Amarius Mims, I'm falling in love with a little bit more. I actually think I have Amarius Mims as a top 5 tackle on my board. Ennis Rakestraw Jr. to the Green Bay Packers. You need secondary help, and I think it's just a good fit. Graham Barton, 5 position flexibility for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, I already talked about Marius Mims to the Cardinals. Great pick. And then you have pick 28 to the Buffalo Bills, Kool-Aid McKinstry. Do the Bills play a lot of press man? That's kind of my question. I thought they were more of a zone scheme team. If they're playing a ton of man, then I think Kool-Aid works really, really well for him. But if they're playing zone, I don't know how well he's going to perform in that type of scheme. Devondre Sweat to the Lions is, you haven't had a good interior defensive lineman like that in a couple of years. You have a Liam McNeil who's really good, and then now all of a sudden you can bring in Devondre Sweat who can absolutely stop the run, and I think that's pretty nasty. AD Mitchell, one of my favorites, going to the Ravens. I think it could be a pretty good fit because he's a flyer down the field. Zach Frazier to the Niners. I think Zach Frazier conversation starts around that 26, getting him at 31. Pretty damn good pick. Xavier Worthy, another flyer coming out of Texas to the Kansas City Chiefs. Another good scheme fit. Yeah, so that's mock draft 1.0.
And real quick, just to break down a couple picks here and why I went the way I did, especially the Kool-Aid pick. I think that Kool-Aid has like Trayvon Diggs level playmaker in him. And I think the Bills just need that type of guy. I think that Tre'Davious White is a huge cut candidate for them. He may not be on the team next year, and just putting a playmaker, putting a badass back there on defense. I know the Devondre Sweat pick he's really high up there, but to be honest with you, after today, and I told myself I wasn't going to change it, but I mean, Chop Robinson right there at 29 for Detroit with Aiden Hutchinson. You know what I mean? But to be honest with you, if you go back to the top 5 and the way it fell there, the more and more I think about it, I really just see the Patriots taking Bo Nix in the second round. And I know this isn't a 2-round mock, but if you can pair Bo Nix up with Marvin Harrison Jr., I just think you can do great things with a young quarterback when you just give him a stud wide receiver like that. So that's kind of where that's where I see the Patriots solving their their quarterback conundrum.
Right there. I think that's where the pick is. Arizona Cardinals, I think that's where the trade candidate is right there. Arizona still has a high second, and you get basically back-to-back second-round picks. Pick, 3 and 4, whatever it is. You could probably still take Amarius Mims in the second as well, and you're getting some trade compensation on top of that. So I think that's where the conversation starts. And like I said earlier in the podcast, I think a team trades into, again, we're going to no trades this mock. Maybe we will in the future. Maybe we do a multi-round mock in the future. But for mock draft 1.0 coming from Drew, no trades. Same thing with me for 2.0, probably next week. No trades. I think another team trades into the first for a Michael Penix, Bo Nix. Depends on how Nix performs at the combine.
I hope not, because I took the center. Seattle taking a center there because they're going to take Michael Penix. So,
yeah. Well, anything else to add to your mock draft?
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Is that a wrap on the podcast?
That is a wrap on the podcast.